So these are the three reasons, three mistakes that you might be making, and I've also given you the solution to overcome the particular problem, how to avoid these mistakes so that you can speak absolutely fluent English. Hello everybody, how are you all? Hope you're doing great. So welcome back to another session of learning English with me and improving your English speaking fluency. Because in today's lesson, I'm going to address a problem that is faced by a lot of people. If you are about to reach either advanced or intermediate level, you are like on the upper intermediate level, this is something that you might be facing. People who are around intermediate or upper intermediate level face this problem a lot. And at whatever level you are, this is something that can arise that's not improving your speaking fluency. You're learning English, you can see an improvement in your vocabulary, different aspects of English, yet there is the lack of fluency that you're looking for when you speak it. Why is it happening that you are learning English, you're improving it, yet when it comes to speaking, you are not able to see the kind of results that you want to see? It's because you're making three mistakes because of which you are not fluent enough. Now, what are these three mistakes and how to avoid them? I'm going to tell you today in this particular lesson. So, are you all ready for this? I'm Shivangi Gupta, your CELTA certified English language tutor, certified by the University of Cambridge, the UK. And before beginning, please subscribe the channel so that you do not miss out on any lesson that I post for you on the channel. Please like the video and share it with your friends too. Now, coming back to today's lesson, three mistakes that you might be making while learning English that is stopping you from becoming fluent in English language. So a lot of times we practice English, we adopt strategies, yet I've seen people say that there is the lack of fluency, like they are fluent, but the kind of results they want, it's not there yet. They're not at that level yet. Vocabulary is good, your grammar has improved, sentence structures they've improved, but the problem is in speaking. While speaking, you do not feel that you're fluent enough. So let's begin with the three mistakes that you might be making due to which you're seeing this lack of fluency. Let's begin with the three problems. Mistake number one is not focused or disciplined enough. You're not focused, or either you're not disciplined enough. That is, you are practicing English, you are learning different aspects of English, but you're not focused enough or disciplined to practice that fluency. What you're doing is you are taking up tasks randomly without any kind of strategic planning, or you're not focused enough what you're supposed to do. You're not focusing on your weak areas, you're not focusing on strengthening those areas, you are not focusing on improving the areas which require more attention. What you're doing is you're just randomly taking up tasks, randomly learning vocabulary, then giving it up for 4 days, 3 days maybe, then randomly taking up a time slot and reading something, randomly practicing speaking. That's it. Things are scattered. They are not how they are supposed to be. That's why you're not disciplined enough. You're not disciplined. Whatever you're practicing, even if you practice it for 10 minutes every day, at least you'll see some results. But what you do is, a lot of times I've seen people think that they will practice for 1 hour. They'll give 1 hour dedicatedly. But that 1 hour never comes. That day never comes when they give that 1 hour to the particular English learning, and they keep on procrastinating that particular thing, that they have to learn it. What will happen in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? But you need to start somewhere at least. And you need to stay consistent, disciplined. Being focused is important. Focus on the things that are important. Prioritize learning English. If you don't prioritize it, you will never find the time to learn and improve your fluency. Plus, you're not focused on speaking fluency. What you're focused on is your comfort zone. So learning 5 words is comfortable, you do that. Reading something is comfortable, you do that. But when it comes to practicing English, speaking practice, where you have to adopt different strategies, techniques to improve your speaking, maybe your pronunciation. You hesitate. Why? Because it requires lots of attention, time, and then a lot of times people, they hesitate in the speaking practice because they fear that as soon as they will speak something, there might be mistakes. But then you have to start that particular journey at some point of time. So you cannot skip those steps. You cannot directly land on the upper step, that I'm going to land directly on the upper step if I just improve my vocabulary, keep on reading, listening, but skip speaking. And then when I'll speak, I'll directly land on an upper step where I'm not making much mistakes. This will not happen. You have to go through the process. The process is set. Everyone's journey is different, but then you have to take up that journey. There is going to be a pathway. So your pathway, you have to take up that pathway. You cannot directly land somewhere in the middle of that pathway. No. So what you're doing is you're trying to look for that shortcut or something like that. But this will not happen. You have to stay focused and you have to stay disciplined in order to become fluent in English. You want to see fluency, you want to see in a short amount of time. Stay focused, stay disciplined. Mistake number two. Mistake number two is lack of output. Lack of output, that is lack of speaking practice. What is the output? Output is when you use that particular language you're learning, you practice it speaking out loud. You have to speak it out loud. Now there is this lack of output. Why? Because you're too focused on consuming things, improving your grammar, improving your vocabulary, and you're thinking that is enough. And there is going to be a day when you'll feel confident enough to start speaking and you'll speak at that time. So that is something which is happening to you, that there is this lack of speaking output. You're not speaking enough. Whatever you're learning, whatever you're consuming, you're not producing it again in the form of speaking output. Because you consume it, it's with you. You need to consume good content. I'm not saying that stop consuming and just focus on output. No. But what happens is, what is happening, you're just totally focused on consuming, and whatever you're consuming, it's getting lost somewhere. It's not there in your memory. It's not there with you. Your mouth muscles, they are not practiced enough to speak something in English. It's just you're consuming it. And then where are you going to keep it? We're going to keep it stored. Nowhere. If you don't practice it, if you don't use it, it's going to get lost. It's just like that memory that you have in your computer, that particular folder where you keep things and then you forget where you've kept it because it's been so long since you retrieved those particular files, that folder, and you're not able to find it. It's there in the storage, but it's so difficult to locate it. Even your finder, your folder finder is not able to locate it because you might have forgotten the exact name of that folder. It happens a lot of times that we keep files secured in a particular folder. Years later, when we want to retrieve it, we're not able to do it, and it takes us so much efforts. Same thing is happening with learning English. What you're doing is you're consuming the information, keeping it stored, you're not producing or using it, you're not revisiting it. And what is happening? It's getting lost somewhere. Now you want to retrieve it, you're not able to do it. So when you consume good content, you have to also pay attention towards output, that is speaking it out loud. You're listening to content, you're reading it. Also focus on your speaking practice. Now I have given you 12 techniques. 12 techniques to practice your English speaking skills and become fluent in English. So here is the lesson. We need to go back, check this particular lesson out because you have 12 varieties, 12 different techniques which focus on different aspects of your fluency. This has got you covered. Why? Because even if you repeat it twice, you'll have so much different techniques to practice in a month. And it's like you are taking up a new technique every day. Still, for 12 days, you will not repeat a particular technique. So that is what you're supposed to do. You are supposed to increase your speaking output. Focus on speaking more and more. Productive speaking. That is what you're supposed to do. Now, mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is waiting for the perfect opportunity. Waiting for that perfect opportunity to arrive when you speak in English. We're talking about speaking fluency. Other aspects of English are improving. You can see the improvement, but fluency is lacking somewhere. Why? Because you're waiting for that perfect opportunity. That let me read some more, let me improve my vocabulary some more, let me focus on grammar. I want to improve my sentence structure totally. And then when I'll speak English, it'll be so fluent. It does not work like that. No. You have to start speaking, thinking that you've perfected your sentence structures and then you're going to go out and you'll speak fluently. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. It's similar to that car driving. Remember, I told you about this particular thing before, that when you learn to drive a car and you're just driving it, you're there, you're practicing driving the car in this particular field, you know how to change the gears, you can change the speed according to your comfort, you can easily turn it, you can easily park it. But when you go out in that real life situation, you might have thought that I'm an expert now, I'm going to drive this car so smoothly. But as soon as you step out in the real situation, on that highway, on the road, you'll see some problems that you've never seen before. There are going to be other vehicles, you have to pay attention towards a lot of things that you might have not actually paid attention to when you were just driving it, practicing it in that big ground, because it was empty. It was meant for you to practice, but now you are in the real life situation. So definitely you're going to face some new problems. Similarly, this is going to happen. If you think that you're delaying your speaking practice, thinking that when you're going to speak it, it's going to sound so fluent at that particular time, you're mistaken. When you speak it in the real-time situation, similarly, you're going to face some things, face some problems that you have to overcome. So instead of waiting for that particular time to arrive, why not start speaking from day one of your practice, day one of your improving English? So please do not delay this process of speaking. Do not find that perfect opportunity. This will never come. Any opportunity is the perfect opportunity to start speaking. You're presented with a situation, speak. Start your speaking practice. Practice. I'm not saying the real-time speaking, that is the conversations and all that. Your speaking practice, using those techniques. Start it from day one. And if you haven't started enough of the speaking practice, start it from today. Start doing it whenever you get an opportunity to speak in English with your friends, colleagues, outside, in any situation. Do it. Take up that particular situation and speak, because this is the only way to improve your fluency. To practice whatever you are learning, you are going to face that day. Even if you've perfected your vocabulary and you've perfected your grammar, when you speak it, still in the beginning, you are going to face some problems, because speaking is different and written English is different. Learning vocabulary, learning particular grammar structure is different. Speaking is a skill, and you need to master that particular skill. So I say master it side by side. As you are improving your grammar, as you're improving your vocabulary, side by side, start mastering this skill of speaking and become fluent in English. So these are the 3 reasons, 3 mistakes that you might be making, and I've also given you the solution to overcome the particular problem, how to avoid these mistakes so that you can speak absolutely fluent English. So that's it for today. That is it. Now I'm going to meet you again in a new lesson. Till then, everybody, take care and bye.